That's mentioned on the new Joe Rogan podcast with RFK Jr., and it relates to timeline of illness related to technology, not germs. Now, what's interesting is this comes from the book The Invisible Rainbow. It talks about how in 2020, remember everybody was experiencing loss of smell, loss of taste, hair loss. Those are all symptoms of radiation poisoning. Now, what's fascinating is every single time a new form of technology rolled out, people started experiencing flu-like symptoms, influenza from the atmosphere, which is being electrified. You have 1889, the first rollout of the power lines, same symptoms. 1919, rollout of the radio, same symptoms. But what's most interesting is in 1933, there was a military experiment done called the Lancaster study where they took people and they put them in a quarantine setting and had them cough and spit all over each other, and none of them got sick. So maybe it's time to look at the technology, not the germ.
All right, the official explanation for today's COVID-19 pandemic is a dangerous infectious virus. This is the rationale for isolating a large portion of the world's population in their homes so as to curb its spread. From face masks to social distancing, from antivirals to vaccines, these measures are predicated on the assumption that tiny viruses can cause serious illness and that such illness is transmissible person to person. It was Louis Pasteur who convinced the skeptical medical community that contagious germs cause disease. However, he eventually admitted that the whole effort to prove contagion was a failure, leading to his famous deathbed confession that the germ is nothing, the terrain is everything. While the incidence and death statistics for COVID-19 may not be reliable, there is no question that many people have taken sick with a strange new disease, with odd symptoms like gasping for air and fizzing feelings. And hundreds of thousands have died. Many suspect that the cause is not viral, but a kind of pollution unique to the modern age, electromagnetic pollution. On September 26, 2019, 5G wireless was officially turned on in Wuhan, China, and officially launched November 1, with a grid of about 10,000 base stations, more 5G base stations than exist in the whole United States, all concentrated in one city. A spike in cases occurred on February 13, the same week that Wuhan turned on its 5G network for monitoring traffic. Illness has subsequently followed 5G installations in all the major cities in America and throughout the world. Since the dawn of the human race, medicine men and physicians have wondered about the cause of disease, especially what we call contagions, numerous people ill with similar symptoms all at the same time. Could a packet of RNA fragments, which cannot even be defined as a living organism, cause such havoc? Perhaps something else is involved, something that has upset the balance of nature and made us more susceptible to disease. Perhaps there is no coronavirus at all. Cowan and Fallon Morrill argue that the causes of disease are poisons, including EMF poisons, and nutrient deficiencies. Until we focus our attention on the true causes of illness, we will not make any progress in restoring health. Or what role viruses play, rather. Is there within that exosome, and the example that they use in the book is that they're like a firefighter. So you think of a virus as a firefighter. It shows up to put out a fire and to be a part of that process, to help detoxify, rather than being the actual cause of the fire. Right? The way that exosomes, when our body gets rid of these exosomes, they communicate through resonance with other people. So I guess the best example of that is that there are non-physical means of communication that people can have and that organisms can have. So the best example of that I know is when a lot of women live together, they sync. I think that's the correct term, my girlfriend.
If you still don't believe in the 5G conspiracy, please watch this. Speedtest.net. Many of you know this website. I literally just went to look at the speed of my internet, and I stumbled across this by accident. Discover your nearest 5G deployment. It's a map of the entire world and all the 5G networks. Now watch. Here's a quick COVID update. USA has now more than doubled second place. If you take a look at the heat map for USA, you'll notice everything is happening on the east side of things, mainly New York City. Other than that, second place is California. This is a world map of all the 5Gs that have been deployed all over the world. USA has 5,500, while the rest of the world don't even equal 3,000. New York alone has a radius of about 1,500 deployed 5Gs, and California is second with almost 350. Follow and share this as I do the exact same thing and break down each country. 5G is what's killing us. Part 2, Mexico and South America. Mexico has a population of over 130 million people. This is a COVID heat map of Mexico. Nothing is going on. Out of 130 million people, they only have 1,500 cases. Well, why? Could it be because they don't have any of the 5G networks that have been deployed all over the world? Zero. Brazil, more than 210 million people. Brazil is leading South America in most cases, but they only have 8,000. To put that into perspective, Canada has more cases than Brazil and Mexico combined. Brazil has 5 deployed 5G networks. The rest of South America doesn't even equal 10. Pretty self-explanatory. 188 5G deployed networks in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic combined. Does that make any sense? Share and follow to see part 3. 5G is what's killing us. Part 3. Europe. In the top 13 countries with the virus, 10 of them are European. Why? Well, second to America, the small little pocket of Europe has over 1,200 deployed 5G networks, all within a small radius. If you zoom into Europe, you will see right in the dead center of Europe, almost 700 5Gs have been deployed. Do you remember where the outbreak started in Europe at rapid speeds? In northern Italy, just south of Switzerland. Attached to this map is an actual Twitter feed from the people who made this website. And if you zoom in here, on July 25th, 2019, Italy was one of the first European countries to get 5G. Countries like France, Germany, Spain, and Finland all got it 1 week before that. Part 4 in the next video. 5G is what's killing us. Part 4, Africa. If you take another glance at the heat map of the world for the COVID coronavirus, you'll notice that Africa is barely touched. Also important to note that Africa, as of 2016, has 1.2 billion people. I know what you're going to say. Hot places are not getting the virus. Hot places are not spreading. Okay. Then explain this. Out of all of Africa, the place with the most cases is the country furthest away from all the action, South Africa. They have the most cases with under 1,500. Now take a wild guess, which African country has the most 5Gs deployed? Yep, you guessed it, South Africa. Climate and temperature is not the common denominator. Check out part 5, listen to this one. It is well-known information, and most people know that Wuhan is the first city in the world to roll out a 5G internet tower and antenna network. It is also the first city in the world to experience the COVID coronavirus epidemic. Now for what I find most interesting. India not only shares a border with China, they have the exact same population, but they don't even have more than 3,000 cases. 1.4 billion people and not even 3,000 cases. Now guess how many 5G networks India has? They have zero 5G networks. That's why.